Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for clicking on the video. My name is David Pendleton, and now we're going to be covering the Pro Division qualifying round for the Easter Classic tournament. So, it's an odd day because we're coming off shooting the finals yesterday and then hopping right into a qualifying round. But overall, I'm happy with how I did in Rookie and Pro today. Now, Pro picked up a minus 15 on this card. You see we pick up the Eagle on 1, the Hole-in-One on hole 4, and then the Albatross on hole 6. What I like about this is if you take a look at this scorecard, I picked up the Eagle as well on hole 1. I picked up the Albatross on hole 6. So double Albatross is really nice. And then I got the birdie here on hole number 4, but I was using this account to play first and then converting over to my other account, so I was able to dial in the Hole-in-One on hole 4. All in all, I think I got some really good replays to share with you here. I've got some shots that are really close to falling into the cup as well. And I do think that with this, current win structure on the qualifying round, this is going to be pretty easy for you to duplicate and go out here and shoot well. If you're not a subscriber, I hope that you become one. It would mean a lot to me. Secondly, if you find my videos helpful, please hit the thumbs up button and like the video. If you'd like to support my channel, definitely check out how to do so in the description below. And let's get this thing started, okay? Let's go on to hole number 1 on Pro. We're going to be playing this one 10%. I don't know why it says 10% at mid. Of course, this is 10% at max. 10% at max. Please don't pay attention to the mid. So you see here that I'm not going with any overpower, but I am going with almost max curl to the right-hand side. We do get this ball to kick before the sand bunker and roll out nicely onto the fairway. This is going to leave us for our shot to pin. Shot to pin here, I'm playing 10% at mid. So 10% at mid. And again, I did drop this shot twice, but we only need to see it once because both shots were very, very similar. All right, what I do here is I go 2 bars of backspin. We're using the Thorn in headwind, and we're using backspin. We got to make sure the tail of our ball guideline is through the pin, just like that. So you see that there, 10% at mid, ball guideline through the pin. Looks good. Perfect ball. And we sneak this bad boy into the cup for an eagle. A great way to start off the Pro Division. All right, we're going to be playing this one 20% at max. That is correct, 20% at max. We're going to be using the Goliath. Now, this one gave me a little bit of trouble, although we are very close. We're going to go with 3 bars of backspin, half a bar of side spin to the right. We do leave this one pretty short of the pin because of the way this green rolls, and we're going to be getting a nice tailwind push. Okay, so on my first account, I ended up, looking at my replay, and the end of my ball guideline was kind of like, you see where the dark green row and the light green row meet? So I'm in the dark green row, and the light green row is to the left of where I'm at. Well, on my other account, I was in the light green row, but on the right-hand side, so very close to where the light green and dark green touch. And I just missed by a fraction to the left-hand side. So I decided this time to put my ball guideline in the dark green row, but the right-hand side of the dark green row. And I am trying to pull this at a 1201 pull angle, which you can see here. So if you're not familiar with the term pull angle, basically when we go to adjust our rings, we always want the wind arrow to be blowing exactly north. But it doesn't stay that way. Sometimes it vibrates from north to left, which is 11:59. It's like looking at a clock. And sometimes it vibrates from north to right, which is 12:01 if you're looking at a clock. But sometimes it just bounces back and forth between the two. What we want to do on a shot like this is we want to eliminate the variable of it bouncing all the way around. We only want the arrow to flicker between north and north-right, which is 12:01, which you can see right there. Now, that's a pretty heavy 1201 pull angle, but it's all about how that thing is going to flicker back and forth. We do get the perfect shot. And this time, we're going to burn the right edge of the cup. So what would I like you to do? I would like you to replicate the landing position. I would like you to replicate where the ball guideline is, but I want you to put your ball guideline directly on the seam where the light green and the dark green rows meet, and still try to pull at that slight 1201 pull angle. I do think a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, I do think quite a few people will drop the shot, and some people are going to burn edges. That's just what happens whenever you're talking about minor tweaks and pull angles. But I think the landing spot, just put your ball guideline directly on the seam where those two rows meet, and you're going to be extremely close. And some of you are going to be very happy because you'll be picking up a hole in one. Now we're going to go on to hole number 3. We're going to use a Titan here. Now I just want you to use your club that gives you the most topspin. Topspin and power is good. Luckily for me, I grinded the snot out of Tour 2, so I'm sitting here with an extra mile 9. Extra mile 8's fine. You can use your big top or you can use your Thor's hammer. Realistically, what we want to do is power this ball as far up the second fairway as possible. Now, I'm going to pause here because I'm going to show you 2 different ways to play this hole on pro. You're going to notice that when I pulled my rings on this account, I did not push back up to max, but I'm going with max overpower. That is a trick in the game that's going to allow my needle here to move really slow. So in tailwind, when we adjust our rings, we move our target closer to the tee, okay? And so that's gonna make the needle go slower because we're not in max distance. So you're gonna see here that a full overpower shot is a very controlled needle. That's gonna allow me to hit this fairway with plenty of room, and then roll out very nicely. So with this next shot here, we're gonna be playing with the Grizzly. Now this green and this fairway is very inconsistent on the way things bounce and roll. Unfortunately, on this account, I hit a great shot, but I do have a perfect shot, I believe, to show you on the next one, and a different approach. But anyways, you can see what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to favor the left-hand side of the cup, just because this green does roll from left to right, which you can see, and we are getting a wind push from left to right as well. So I tried to offset just a little bit on the left-hand side to see what would happen. Now, I wish I would have hit perfect because then I would have had another attempt to figure out what to do. But regardless, the speed is good, but a great shot we don't get to learn anything from. I want you to notice the difference on this one. On this one, I'm telling you to push up to max. So full top and 2 right. Here I will adjust my 10% elevation at max or whatever I played. Now I'm in max distance of my club. I'm going to go with another max overpower shot. Now you see here the screen is a lot more shaky. But we're still okay because we hit a great shot, but it's very, very, very slight great left. You can see that even with the great left shot, we still have plenty of room to work with. We don't even come close to clipping the rough. But look how many more yards we get this time. I do like this approach better. For you people who are looking to play with money balls, not even money balls, but if you wanted to use a berserker, like you could literally just launch this ball if you wanted to and try to get yourself a close chip-in shot with your Thorn. But for me, with the Titan here, I'm at max distance of my Thorn, which I love. It makes me pulling the rings much easier. I don't have to worry about, being in between mid and max. I can just pull it straight max distance. Same thing here. I'm putting my ball guideline on the left-hand side of the hole, as you just saw. We do get the perfect ball, and you'll see what happens here. This ball still kicks significantly to the right-hand side of the cup. So, other than, applying maybe a few bars of left side spin or 1 bar left side spin and refining the landing position, I don't really know what to tell you. But I think you're going to get to see 2 different drives, and we talk through a different ball approach. Play it however you will. This is a tough albatross. You're not going to see a lot of people get it. Some people will get it. But, I do think we can get ourselves within Thorn range, which is always nice when you're going for an albatross. Okay, this one is played 5% at mid. We are going to be using a navigator with 1 bar of left side spin. We're going to be calling this about 2.8, 2.9 bars of backspin. 7.1 miles an hour. We are going to be getting a heavy tailwind push. Here's the setup and what we're looking for. I want your orange ring or the red ring, whatever you want to call it, to be on the rough line like that. Now, the biggest thing I want you to notice is pay attention to the end of my ball guideline. Yes, it's pointing at the hole, but for a reference point, look, We are fully inside the light green square. Our ball guideline is touching the tip of the top of the light green square. And you can kind of see that we're almost in the corner of the light green, but not exactly. We're to the left of the corner. Ball guideline pointing at the pin. I barely missed this one to the right-hand side on my other account with, I believe it was 6.8 mile per hour wind. My ball guideline was almost directly in the corner of that light green square, which is why I moved it over to the left-hand side here. And we get this ball to fall in still on the right-hand side of the cup, but we do pick up a hole in one, which is always really nice. Brings us into hole number 5. Hole number 5 I did not do well on. I hit a great shot on the second shot on both of my attempts. However, I did learn from one thing on my first account, which is what you're going to see here. We're going to go with not too much topspin because I ended up driving the ball too far, and it was a weird second shot. So I do want you to go with 5 bars of topspin, 2 bars of side spin to the right. My reference point is the white ring. Look at the left-hand side of the white ring, how it's touching the rough line right there. We make our pull, no overpower, perfect ball. You see I left myself with plenty of room this time to work with. Now the reason that I did that is because I wanted to play with the sniper this time. I'm using a little bit more than 2 bars of topspin with about half a bar of side spin to the left. Now you can see here, this green is glitchy, okay? That's the one thing you have to be wary of. So I left my ball guideline through the hole, just in case. I didn't want to come up short and mess the shot up. Now here, with the way that we're adjusting, because we're dropping down a little bit, we want to make sure that we pull this one at a slight 11:59 pull angle. I do believe that's going to be important because if you don't do that, I think you're going to come up short possibly. But again, a great ball is no good. Just trash on that one. Okay, here's a double albatross shot, meaning I dropped it on both my accounts. We're going to be playing the right-hand side. Your reference point is the blue ring on the rough line by those trees. 6 top, 1 right, just like this. There's that blue ring on the rough. We make our pull. Normal shot, no OP. 381 brings us here for shot number 2. We're going to be playing shot number 2, 5% at mid. 5% at mid. Notice the backspin, 3 back. We're going to go with just a slight left spin. Now that left spin was unintentional. I accidentally did that on my first account. I was trying to play it straight up like I always do, with only backspin. I never really use side spin on my first look at a hole unless I miss. Then I try to dial it in from there. But this was an accident, but it worked out. So I've got my yellow ring right there. Look at the yellow ring. It is right up on the fringe line or rough line, whatever you want to call it. Ball guideline just short, pointing to the left-hand side of the hole. Perfect shot. And we're in for an albatross. Same thing here. Of course, this is my second attempt, so I'll end up setting this one up a lot faster. Everything's identical. I actually hit the exact same yardage on my drive, which made this shot identical with the setup. The only thing that was different was the wind strength. But you can see here we're catching a nice slope and we're falling in for the albatross. Okay, I want you to play this one 5% at mid. And the reason that I say that is because you're going to see where I miss. Now, on my other account, I missed the rough. And I ended up sending one to the top of the green. But at least it rolled back down because we were using backspin on this hole. The only thing I can think of to do when I watch the replay is I actually set up higher up on the rough. I had my inner green ring almost at the rough line, fringe line. So now you're going to see me try to position my green ring exactly center of the rough. That's what I would say to do. But we are using 2 bars of backspin here. Here's the spin, 2 back, 1 right. I am pulling this at 10% elevation at mid distance. Again, what you're seeing is 10% at mid, but I want you to play 5% at mid, and you're going to see why here. We're going to miss this one just by a hair to the right-hand side, and if I would have took off a little bit of the pull and played at 5%, that ball would have been in for a hole-in-one. Hole number 8 gives us a fun opportunity for an eagle. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people get it, but I think you and I can. Well, you can. I can't anymore. I'm done. 5 top, 3 right. Notice here I'm backing up my extra mile to the plus 9 yard mark. I back it up because we're getting headwind and I want to pull my rings for accuracy. Depending on your extra mile level, your plus yards is going to be different than mine, but the biggest point to take away is you're going to be backing this thing up a little bit so you can pull your rings. Okay, we got a perfect ball here, and the ball does exactly what I want it to do. We're good. Now, what I don't like about this shot is I'm not going to take a rough bump on this pull in direct headwind. I would only take this in crosswind probably. But I'm going to go with the max backspin and just try to back this baby up into the hole. I'm going to play this one at mid distance of my club. And take a look at my setup here. Notice that I've got the ball guideline kicking down towards the hole, but I'm favoring the left-hand side of the cup. I'm doing that because of the wind angle push that we're getting. And I'm purposely setting up that far behind the pin because of the headwind. So those are the things that I'm looking at. So close. That shot is definitely there, okay? 0% at mid, but let's take a look at this setup point again. We need to move this over. Let's call it maybe a half of a more of green square to the left, okay? That setup point, half more green square to the left, because we missed this one to the right, but man, we barely miss it to the right. You see today on rookie and pro, man, I am leaving shots like right at the pin, which I'm really happy about because that's going to make it easier for you to knock these shots down. Okay, hole number 9 is actually going to be pretty straightforward on pro today. We're very lucky to be getting tailwind, which means in the next round of the finals, we're probably going to get smoked with headwind, which is going to be a difficult shot on pro to deal with because we're already using a berserker to get to the green on back-to-back tailwind. Now here, I'm sorry, I went too fast. Here, I pulled my elevation 10% on both shots. I do not push up to max, but I'm taking, again, another max-controlled overpower shot. Full OP, totally controlled. Even a great ball, we have so much fairway to work with. You see how good we are here. And we get a really nice rollout, which was huge. So we're able to get this one almost 450 yards, leaving us for our Cataclysm shot for shot number 2 here. I get some comments about a Cataclysm level 5 or my big dog being maxed out at level 9. I want you to keep in mind that it's not going to matter what level your Cataclysm or your big dog are because we're going to both be using the same power stat. I mean, I believe they're both 180 yards power at level 1 or level 2. So, you know, sometimes on the club, when we're taking shots like this, it doesn't matter if your club level is the same as mine because we're using the same power stat. And that's the only reason that I would be using a big dog or a Cataclysm on this hole is the power to make sure that I read the green. As you can see there, I didn't care about the extra top spin. I don't care about the extra back spin. The curl is useless, and the ball guideline is useless. And that's going to be the biggest difference between a Cat 1 and a Cat 5, or a Big Dog 1 and a Big Dog 9 or 8 or whatever it is. So sometimes just remember that, right? Hey, anyways, we're done with Pro. I'm going to see you guys in the next round. I wish the best of luck to you. Please subscribe. Please hit the thumbs up button and let me know how you do in comments. Thank you for watching.